everyone. In today's lecture, we are going to see the Hern's rule of maximum multiplicity. In last two lectures, we have studied about Pauli's exclusion principle. Also, we have stressed on how to write in an electronic configuration. Okay, one by one we will revise it in later. But in today's lecture, we have to stress on what is the rule of maximum multiplicity. Hern's rule of maximum multiplicity means what? Already you know the subshells. Which are the subshells? Here, subshells. In an orbit, there are subshells. Subshells are denoted by small letters S, P, D, and F. Okay. Now, S subshell, as far as it is considered, it is only of a circular shape. Okay. That is 1s, 2s, 3s, and so on. It is symmetrically filled. That is electron density around the nucleus, or the probability of finding an electron is a maximum. As far as p orbital is considered, according to its coordinate axis, it is divided into three suborbitals such as px, py, and pz. Likewise, px, py, and pz. Okay, d orbitals are also situated in this fashion. Totally d orbitals are 5, f orbitals are 7. Okay, these are designated as d orbitals are 5, and they are totally of types as is equal to, first is T2g and second is Eg orbitals. T2g means what? That is the orbitals which are located between the axes, that is of dxy, dyz, and dxz, which are going to see in next lecture how the orbitals are located. And here Eg orbitals, these orbitals which are located along the axis, that is of dx square minus y square and dz square. Okay. So as far as these orbitals are considered, the orbitals which have possessing the same energy and near about equivalent shape, these orbitals, before it undergoes the magnetism, these orbitals are called as degenerate orbitals. Now, which are degenerate orbitals? That is of p orbitals, d orbitals are called as degenerate orbitals. Now, in filling of these orbitals with electrons, the rule is of Hern's rule. What is the Hern's rule? See here, what is the statement? Statement: when several degenerate orbitals are available for filling of electrons, these orbitals are first filled with electrons with single electron in each orbit or subshell, and then their pairing, of electrons will take place. What is the meaning of this? That is, when several degenerate orbitals are available, okay, for filling of electrons, these orbitals are first filled with single electron in each subshell of the orbitals, and then their pairing will be takes place. Okay, what is this meaning? See here, when degenerate orbitals are available, okay, which are degenerate orbitals? That is of px, py, and pz, or dxy, dyz, dxz. Okay. Also along with this dx square minus y square and dz square. These are of one category. These are of one category. This is of p orbitals. These are of d orbitals. At that time, what happens? At the same time, when electron filling takes place, according to the Bose energy principle, the electron will takes place in each shell at a time one electron with a parallel spin. This spin is called as, that is a parallel spin in each orbit. That is like of px one electron, py one electron, pz one electron. After filling of one electron in each subshell of orbitals, then and then only pairing of these electron will take place. Okay. For that consideration, we will take the example here. For example, which are element? That is first is of boron. Z is equal to what? That is Z is equal to 5. Atomic number of boron is equal to 5. What is the electronic configuration according to Bose principle? See here, that is electronic configuration is as follows. That is first is 1s2, 2s2 and 2p1. Okay. What is its atomic number? That is equal to 5. That is equal to 2 electron and then 2p1. Now the question is arises. What is it means? That is p orbital is divided into which types? That is equal to 3 types. That is 2px, 2py and 2pz. Here the electron first will enter in 2px orbital. See here, likewise the distribution of electrons here. Here 1s2, 2 electrons, okay, 2s2, 2 electrons, okay, 2px1, 1 electron, okay. Now the next example, after boron which element comes? That is equal to carbon. Carbon, Z is equal to what? That is equal to 6. What is the electronic configuration here? 1s2, 2s2, 2p2, okay. What is its meaning? That is 1s2, 2s2, 2px1, 2py1. And that is the filling of electrons is nothing but the Hond's rule of maximum multiplicity. That is when there are degenerate orbitals are available, at that time electron first filled with singly with a paired spin, and after filling of each electron in each orbital, then and then only its pairing should be start. Okay. Here we can write here as the fashion of electrons as here 1s2, 2s2, here 3 orbitals are here, that is equal to 2px1, 2py1, okay, and 2pz orbital is remaining as like 0. Okay. Now we consider the next example for your understanding, clear things. Seven, nitrogen, Z is equal to 7, oxygen, Z is equal to 8, fluorine, Z is equal to 9. Okay, we will take number of examples. First of all, we can write here the electronic configuration, that is in short it is called as EC. What is of 7 number? 1s2, okay, 2s2, 2, what is the number? 7, 2p2, that is equal to what? That is corresponds to 2px1, okay, and 2py1, okay. This is 2py1, okay, and 2pz, 2p3 here, sorry, that is equal to 7, that 1s2, 2s2, 2p3, 2px1, 2py1 and 2pz1. Here clearly the Hond's rule of maximum multiplicity is obeyed. We can write here in box diagram here as like is 1s2 here, 2s2. Here 2p orbitals are how many? That is degenerate orbitals are 3. Okay, one electron each in each orbit, one electron each here. And this filling of electrons is nothing but it is called as that is the Hond's rule of maximum multiplicity. You can get the idea of Hond's rule of maximum multiplicity. Again, I will remind you the statement is that is when there are degenerate orbitals are available, the filling of electrons with pairing with parallel spin is possible in each subshell, and then only its pairing should be possible. Okay. Now the pairing will be start in which orbital of which element, that is equal to a oxygen one. See here, what is the electronic configuration? EC. What is number? 8. What is the electron configuration? 1s2, 2s2. Now, how many electrons can accommodate in p orbital? What are the remaining? That is equal to 2 plus 2, 4. The remaining are 4. That is 2p4. We can write here as it is what? That is 2px 1, 2py 1, 2pz 1. And another electron is goes for pairing of the electrons with this 2px 2. Okay. Thus, we can write the electronic configuration according to Hond's rule as here 1s2, 2s2. Okay. 2p4 means how many orbitals I can draw here? 3 orbitals. These 3 orbitals are called as degenerate orbitals. Degenerate p orbitals. Okay. Now, filling of electrons. First is 1, 1 and 1. After filling of electrons, 1 in each degenerate orbitals, then and then only we can start the pairing of the electrons with the opposite spin like this. Therefore, 2px2, 2py1 and 2pz1. What is the remaining electronic configuration? For F is z equal to 9. Just you have to add here 2py2. That is equal to 1s2, 2s2, okay, 2p5. Okay, and just keep in mind that is the filling of electrons in each subshell of p orbital, that is taking of electrons as much as with 3 orbitals of 3 subshells. How many electrons it can take? That is equal to 6 electrons. Whatever may be the orbitals are available, each orbital can accommodate only 2 electrons according to Pauli's exclusion principle. Here we can draw the electron diagram here. Filling 1s2, 2s2, 2p5. In how many ways? First, here it is called as 2px, 2py and 2pz. We have to fill how many electrons? That is equal to 5 electrons. First, write in parallel spin 1, second, third. As far as 3 orbitals are filling with 3 electrons with a parallel spin, then and then only we can start the pairing. 4 and here also 5. Thus, pairing of electrons here will be takes place. Okay. Now you can easily understood the meaning of the Hond's rule of maximum multiplicity. Also, we can stress on the completely filled orbitals and half filled orbitals. Just I am giving you one stress of remind of the word completely filled and half filled orbitals. Okay. Half filled orbitals. Okay. Completely filled orbitals. Okay. Now, which orbitals are called as half-filled orbitals and which orbitals are called as completely filled orbitals? We know that is degenerate d orbitals or p orbitals which have the capacity of taking an orbital. We can take maximum of 2 electrons. In p orbitals, how many subshells are here? That is how many suborbitals? Px, Py and Pz. Okay. In d orbitals, how many suborbitals are here? That is equal to 5 d orbitals are there. In each orbital, the capacity of accommodation of 2 electrons. Now, these p orbitals, as far as considered here, the capacity of p orbitals along with the coordinate axis px, py and pz, that is equal to how many electrons? Total electrons is equal to 6 electrons. Okay, and half-filled orbitals are those when p orbitals can take how many electrons? That is p3 electrons. Okay, that is 3 electrons at a time. That is here when in p orbitals there are presence of 3 electrons with parallel spins, that p orbital is called as half-filled p orbital. Okay, and that orbital acquires the spatial stability. Acquires spatial stability. Okay. Also, completely filled orbitals also acquire a spatial stability. Okay. What is the spatial stability? When p orbitals are accommodated in the fashion like this. This is 1, 2 and 3 here. 4, 5 and 6. Now these 3 orbitals, that is 2px, 2py and 2pz, already capacity of taking the electrons is what? That is equal to a 6 electrons, and when these 6 electrons can accommodate in these 3 orbitals, that is the orbitals are completely filled with a parallel and its opposite spin. At that time this p orbital is called as completely filled orbitals, and it can also acquire the spatial stability. Spatial stability. How it is acquires in spatial stability? This point we will discuss in next lecture, that is factors affecting on the stability. In this lecture we have to stress on the number of energies. First is exchange energy, then promotional energies and so on, and then only we can take the example of a chromium and copper. We can explain the spatial stability of half-filled orbitals as well as a completely filled orbitals. I hope that all of you understand this point very clearly. If there are any doubts, please ask me on this group. Okay, thank you.